Hey friends, it occurred to me that I have been recording these like you are watching every single one of them, and I can almost guarantee that you are not. So by way of a little bit of background, my name is Sam, I am Australian, I live in New York, and I'm currently working on building a portfolio of businesses from scratch. And these are my stories. This is a vlog that is just me like literally documenting the journey of what it takes to pull this kind of thing off, and hoping like hell that I'm successful and these will make great content for one day when they have a Netflix special about my amazing successes. Anyway, this week, also more background. There are two businesses that are currently in the portfolio that I'm working on. One of them is a laundry concept called Dirtbag, and the other is an SPF adjacent skincare brand that I'm currently kind of working through the name on for a whole bunch of reasons. If you want more detail about either of them, go all the way back to the very first episode. I go into a lot more detail about what each of them are. Just thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on where some things are at that I left at the end of last week. So I said that I had a couple of proposals out on two different spaces for the laundry concept. Both of the landlords have come back and kind of started, I want to say like negotiating-ish, just sort of like objecting to some of the things that I'd asked for. So I guess it's better that they did that than just ignored me altogether. So that's kind of a good thing, I guess. Also this week I have a few different things on for the skincare brand. One, I am expecting to get some new names back from the team that I'm working with on names. I was doing this myself, but it got to the point where I was just too in it, so I needed a little bit of external support to be able to help me think through some of these things. After they've done that, I can then bounce them around a little bit more and then speak to the trademark lawyer about any kind of concerns that they have with those and make a decision as to whether or not I want to move forward. The other really big thing that I'm doing this week is hopefully finalizing all of the paperwork for the seed round that I raised for the laundry brand. So pretty excited on all fronts for those things. Stay with me because you're going to be joining me for a whole bunch of this jazz as we go through it for the rest of the week, but wanted to give you an update on where those things are at. So I'm currently crouched in a corner outside attempting to vlog in public as I said I would. I'm about to go and look at a couple of the spaces with an engineer and a contractor as part of the lease negotiations, and I wanted to take you with me so you could actually see what they look like. Let's get after it. Okay, so I'm standing at the back of the space. I'm going to speak quite quietly because I don't want to disturb the people that are currently working in here, but you can kind of see the space. It looks quite cool. On the left here is currently a meeting room. That probably wouldn't stay or would get adjusted into being like storage space and that sort of thing. On the left here we have an accessible bathroom. Hey! As you can see, it kind of needs like a little bit of work, but it's actually like quite good. Like I'm quite happy with the way this looks. I think it could be like zhuzhed up a little bit. In here is a kitchenette, and on the right is a little office space. Behind the kitchenette is actually another little bathroom that could do with a little bit of work, but on the whole it's kind of in a similar spot. Out here then is the courtyard. As you can see, it definitely like needs some stuff done to it, but I feel like this has real potential to be quite a cool space, and I really think there's something that could be done with it. So these are the windows for that little office space that I was just showing you, and there on the left is the window through to the other bathroom, and this one is for the kitchen. So the HVAC will need to be replaced, so if I can do something better with that, it actually gives me the opportunity to kind of have a little window or something potentially with the kitchenette. And because the trash in this space is only going to be laundry, like lint and those sorts of things, I think there is the opportunity to actually move this into the storage space, which would free it up. Anyway, that's it. I will show you the basement area in just a second. Change of plan, we're not in the basement, as you can see. We are on the roof because there is a rumour that apparently there may actually be venting from the retail space all the way up to the roof. We just have to find if there is actually a duct up here and if it's something that we can tap into, because that would save a lot of money and actually make life a whole bunch easier and, very importantly, quicker to get this baby built. So that's what we're doing up here. this is the roof. And yes, it feels as precarious to walk on as it looks. Hi, this is Sam from the future. I am currently editing this footage and I realized that I somehow lost the footage of the basement of the first property. So I'm gonna put some pictures on the screen here so that you can get a sense of what it looked like. And then we are gonna cut directly to the second property. Okay, so I'm literally going to start standing at the back door. There's this space in here that could be a kitchen or something someday, it's got plumbing and everything. In here is a bathroom, and a utility cupboard. It's not particularly fancy, but big enough to be actionable or to do something with. This is a second kind of a room that's been created at the back of the space. Relatively uneventful. The brick, of course, is load bearing. I suspect that once upon a time it actually was the back of the property, but this wall, these two walls here, aren't load bearing. And importantly, this one isn't load bearing either, because when you walk out into the main space, you can potentially knock this wall down to be able to access this space from the front of the area. Now, as you can see at the front here, there are these two kind of bay sections on each side and a ramp, because the floor is elevated, so a ramp down to the street. I am not sure what I would do with these. I think there is potential to do something fun. As you can see, graffiti on the window. It's a, let's call it up and coming area. But I think there is potential to do something fun with both of these areas. Let's go downstairs and check out the basement, and you'll see what I mean about it being much better finished than the other place. This is the door down to the basement. Okay, in the basement, as you can see, it's pretty well finished, super useful for dry storage and that sort of stuff. It's well lit, and the ceiling isn't super high. You can see it's probably 6'4", maybe 6'5", and on the way in it's actually only 5'10". I know it's 5'10" because it's an inch taller than me. So there you go, that room. And then there's a second room here at the back that is literally nothing but kind of, again, more storage space. Again, it's well finished, there's plenty of power and things like this, so potentially useful, but obviously not very glamorous. There we have it, basement. I have never been here before, but this is the Javits Center, which is home to Makeup in New York, which is the event that I'm going to. I am really hoping that I can find some packaging supplies here for the skincare label. I've heard that it's a really good event and there's supposed to be more than 30 packaging supplies. So wish me luck, let's go take a look. Okay, I will find out later if you can actually hear me, but this is an airless package. It's one single monoplastic, which is useful in terms of recycling, and the depression part, it stays intact, so you don't lock it or unlock it. This part does rotate, I presume, to take the middle bit out, but I'll find out when I speak to the consultant in just a second. And usually this part can be a different color from the rest of it, which I think is quite cool. And usually they'll do gloss finish, matte, everything in between, which is kind of fun. I'm gonna be honest, I'm starting to get to the point where I feel like if you've seen one airless package, you've seen them all. This one, however, is kind of heavier than a lot of the others, and I like that the top is flush, so it won't accidentally depress whilst not having that little kind of click across part that you see on some other ones. Oh, like this one. I'm not a huge fan of that top that you kind of click across to lock it and back again. I think it's just kind of fiddly and adds something that you don't particularly need. However, I quite like this one. The matte finish is kind of nice, although I don't think I would necessarily go matte, but I like the fact that you can have two different kind of finishes on here. So yeah, maybe this one has potential. Okay, you know how I just finished saying that all airless looks the same? Let me present you three that do not look the same. This one I think is quite beautiful. The really nice part is it doesn't depress when it's closed, and you actually open the top by rotating the bottom and it reveals the pump part. This one is glass here and then this part is plastic, and it has an inner tube in it that can be pulled out if you want to offer it as a refill, but it feels really beautiful and like significant. And then this one is actually just another little pump, but the pump is hidden in here, which I think is quite cute. I'm not sure if this part maybe can work out, but I think it's quite lovely. Just a quick question. This one, can I color the lid separately from that if I wanted to?
Yeah, everything's custom made to order, so if you wanted this green, this red, and this blue, we could totally do this.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Okay, I think this one is quite interesting. It is made from a special type of plastic that the entire thing is one type of plastic, so a monoplastic, but the inside of it, and it can be post-consumer recycled plastic, but the inside of it, because it's all plastic, you could actually make that a different color, like the pump a different color from the rest of it, which I think is quite cool. It will depend on the actual color of the product that it actually ultimately end up, like what it actually looks like in the end, but I think this one has a lot of potential. Okay, so I have no idea if you could actually hear me in there, so I thought I would talk to you now that I'm out of the exhibition. In short, really happy that I made the decision to come. I found the packaging company for Rode. I found the packaging company for Fenty, along with a whole heap of other brands that I really admire and that are really known for doing interesting stuff with their packaging. So definitely worthwhile. The other thing that was really useful is that I was able to speak in some cases to the actual owner of these manufacturing companies, and so I could ask them to do things for me like, can you swap this out for post-consumer recycled plastic, or can you change out the pump? What are the other options? Like, can you do a mini version of it for sampling and those sorts of things? So that was super helpful, just to be able to have these quick conversations rather than like wait for people to go back and forth. The only bummer is that no one actually had samples with them. Like, they had demonstration, but not ones that I can take with me. So now, of course, I'm back in the same position that I was earlier, which is waiting for samples to arrive. What I'm really hoping is that because it's on the back of the exhibition, it'll be a fast follow. So fingers crossed. Anyway, in short, really glad that I made the effort to come out today, because I can almost definitely see that I will end up going ahead with one of the companies that I met here today. And the sun has just moved, so now this is very bright, so I'm gonna go now. Bye! Okay guys, we got to the end of the week. It's been a pretty momentous week. In the end, I'm pretty pleased with how far things have come along. For the laundry brand, we actually have the official contracts out with the investor for my seed round to be able to formally sign that off and get that underway. I have opened all the bank accounts and done all those sorts of things. We still have those 2 proposals out with the landlords. I still haven't heard back from them, and it's driving me crazy. However, I did walkthroughs of both the spaces this week, as you saw, with the engineer, for him to be able to tell me exactly what it's going to take to get both of those spaces up to speed, like up to scratch, so, or up to spec, I should say. So things like the gas, the water, and the energy have particular specs that are required to be able to run a laundromat out of them. So he's going to come back to me on exactly how much that's going to cost. Still waiting to hear back from the landlords, so hopefully that one moves soon. I also provided feedback on the creative to the creative team for the laundry brand, which is great. I'm expecting to see the next round this week, or in the coming week, I should say. With the skincare brand, I'm expecting formulation back next week, which is really exciting. I now have a series of names underway, which I'm pretty excited about. I think there are some really strong contenders in there. I was going to put it in this video, but I'll actually wait and show you in the next video. And I also have some really good packaging options. As you saw from the Beauty Expo yesterday, there were some great ones there that are really good. I am waiting to actually get the physical samples from them and get all the prices, but just in casual conversation, it looks like a lot of the prices that they were discussing are going to be well and truly within budget. Before I say goodbye to you for the week, though, I wanted to show you these bad boys. They are some samples that came in the mail just yesterday. So I've been speaking to you about how airless is really important for the product that I'm developing. Airless is important because it's a more stable environment for the formula, so you can do a lot more with regards to like efficacy of the product. You can have more actives, you can have less preservatives and all those sorts of things. But from a customer perspective, it means that you can get 99% of the product out of the package without having to like crack it open and get a Q-tip in it or turn it upside down and kind of dump it out and all those sorts of things. That said, from a formulation perspective, the next best thing to airless is this particular sort of pump. And the advantage to this pump from a customer perspective is that you can create way more beautiful form factors when it comes to the packaging. So I've got some of those here. I just wanted to quickly show them to you. So the first ones, these are relatively simple. As you can see, they look quite plain. But obviously you can customize these like crazy. Then you start to get into this sort of like shape territory. So this is matte finish glass. You can actually see if I unscrew this, though, that the glass hasn't been colored itself. It's a coating on the glass. If you see here, you can see where it actually starts to become clear, the glass, rather than being this color. I do think this sort of thing is quite beautiful, but actually you can start to see here, how annoying would that be if you had some product left and you were trying to get it out of there and you're like doing these ones or like trying to stick the Q-tip in there and all those sorts of things. And that therein lies my concern, but I think we can agree these are pretty beautiful. Here's another one with a different finish. It's like an ombre kind of system. I think this is quite beautiful. It actually also feels very heavy, like it feels very significant. Now I'm saving the best one till last though, because have a look at this bad boy. This is a wooden lid with glass base. The glass, as you can see here, is super thick, and like the other ones, you could actually color the glass however you want. You could do a matte wrap over it, you can do gloss, you can actually color the glass itself so you can still partially see through it. So say for example like a milky white type shade or something like that. And the wood itself, you can actually choose the wood that you want for the lid. All that said, I kind of think, I'm looking at it in the viewfinder right now, I kind of think that it's maybe giving fragrance a little bit more than skincare, but it's so beautiful. Anyway, that's me for the week. Thanks so much for sticking around, and I look forward to seeing you again next week, where we try and push things a little bit further and hopefully hear back from some landlords. Until then, have a great weekend.